Well, everyone, welcome back to another video. And today we're going to be looking at a World Cup Ooh Foo from Jackie2603, going over each of the courses in Mario 64. And I just finished this game a couple days ago. I definitely spent a lot more time with the earlier levels because I was trying to 100% the game like early on. And I didn't realize a couple of things like, you don't really have to do that at all. And there's a lot more stars just spread out evenly through the whole game as opposed to just like front loaded. So some of the levels I didn't get to spend as much time with, but either way, I wanted to share my thoughts on them and reflect on each of the levels as much as possible while sharing some of my experiences with the game. So without further ado, here we go. What is that? What is Big Boo's haunt? I'm gonna assume I missed something here. I'm gonna have to look that up after the recording, but I don't know what a Big Boo's haunt is. I might have just completely missed an entire level. I guess I'll just be talking about Snowman's Land next round, but gee Willikert, some of you guys are probably gonna be really upset with that. Oh, next is Jolly Roger Bay and Whomp's Fortress. Well, both are early levels. I believe I got all the stars on both of these levels. Whomp's Fortress is like a classic runner-up to what people think of as like a classic 3D Mario level. But it does feel a little bit linear compared to Jolly Roger Bay. I will say this though, Jolly Roger Bay is also very boring. Like, you do a lot of swimming. There's like 1 or 2 stars that are not in water. Specifically through the jet stream frustrated me because, again, I had just been playing the game through like from the beginning and trying to get all the stars, and I didn't realize that you need special caps for certain stars. I know like in Bob-omb's Battlefield there's the wing cap star, but I thought you could just do that with a cannon. I didn't realize like the cap just made it easier. Or I thought the cap just made it easier. I didn't realize you couldn't actually do it just with cannons. So here I am going through every single inch of Jolly Roger Bay trying to collect the Koopa shell to get through the jet stream. It was just a whole big mess. Wasted an hour that way before I had to look it up. So I definitely give it like a below average score from personal experiences, and it is kind of boring compared to Whomp's Fortress. Whomp's Fortress, had the boss and everything. So I'll probably give it the edge, but both were solid. Ooh, Tick-Tock Clock and Cool Cool Mountain. Tick-Tock Clock was such a cool design. The camera angles in the game, like, definitely do it a little bit of a disservice, but I thought they did such a good job with, like, a dedicated parkour level. Plus, it's just such a cool entryway. Like, yeah, you're not doing a painting or whatever. I'll probably give it a Tick-Tock Clock. Cool Cool Mountain was also a very fun stage. It had some really fun stuff like the slide, giving the penguin back, the ski lift. The snowmen were really annoying though, and one of their stars, the wall kicks one, that bothered me for like 10 minutes because I thought that it meant to literally kick the wall, which is like a move you can do in the game, but it meant to wall jump, and that's just like, I asked some guys about it after. They said that wall kicking is what they called wall jumping back then, which I guess that makes sense, like for the time's sake, but and you'd have a game manual to tell you that, but you also can like kick the wall in the game, so it still was a little bit confusing and misleading. Either way though, definitely Tick-Tock Clock, such a fun one. Oh my goodness, how do I pick? Genuinely, how do I pick between these? Okay. Oh, Bob-omb's Battlefield is like the epitome of you go through, you start the level for the first time, and boom, you're dropped in a playground where you can just run around, be free, go up the mountain, figure out a way on the flying island, interact with the chain chomp, Oh, there's so much to do in it. But Peach's Castle is like so many secrets, so much interaction going on with the characters inside and the different secrets to the castle. I feel like just for out of pure enjoyment, I probably have to give Bob-omb Battlefield, just because Peach's Castle definitely felt more of like just a means to an end at the end of the day. Though I do understand how iconic it is and stuff. Ooh, okay. So Rainbow Ride was actually a level that I did not get a chance to play. I actually completed the game before I figured out where it was. I knew it was a stage though, because of a couple references in the game, and it was like the one level I'd ever seen gameplay of before. But I just never found it when I was playing through. So I guess I missed 2 levels, even though I knew this one existed. But I beat the game first. Now I'm moving on to Sunshine. I'll go through, make another video about the 3D Mario games once I replay them, or play them for the first time in the case of 64 and Sunshine. But it wouldn't be fair to, judge something that I haven't played before. But Lethal Lava Land genuinely was like such a fun stage. You got the volcano, shell riding, actual good combat, and like a mini boss, plus the puzzle star. So definitely giving it to Lethal Lava Land. But the Rainbow Ride probably would be cool, but I just never got a chance to play it. Tall Tall Mountain was kind of boring. I would definitely give it a below average score. Not gonna lie, a vast majority of the time I spent on that level was spent just like retracing my steps, because I kept falling off and it just felt very monotonous with very little else to do. The monkey really annoyed me. Again, I didn't get all the stars, so maybe there was some secret that I just don't know about, but it does not compare to Hazy Maze Cave. Hazy Maze Cave was super fun. After I came to appreciate it, there was a period of time where I was hating on it. It was just confusing. I kept getting lost, but then I was like, oh my goodness, there's actually some really cool stuff in here. Very unique enemies. Obviously the secret for the metal cap, which I figured out, and Dory was very interesting to interact with. Plus the toxic maze was like, it seems like an annoying area, but it genuinely like is easy to go through. So at first glance, this level was annoying, but I came to love it, and definitely better than Tall Tall Mountain for sure. This is actually a really good time to just say Shifting Sandland is just mid. There's some cool aspects about it, but I just don't like it. I don't know. It certainly does not compare to Dire Dire Docks. Dire Dire Docks was one of my favorite levels, if not my favorite. The aesthetic of just like an industrial warehouse where it's being used to launch military operations for Bowser's army. Just such a cool idea. Definitely giving it to Dire Dire Docks. Now, I've heard a lot of good things about Tiny Huge Island, but me personally, it was just kind of confusing. I feel like the few stars that I got on it, I got like 2 or 3. I didn't even get the intentional way. And it would be a lot less confusing if like there was just like a change mechanic and it didn't change the whole island. Or I'm not even entirely sure if it changed the whole island or not still. It was very mind-bending. And this picture kind of reminds me of Maka Woohoo, which is cool, but Wet Dry World just had some really interesting mechanics that were a little bit more straightforward, some interesting enemies, and it just was a little bit more fun because, I don't know, it's my personal opinion, it just was more fun. The second round, and man, putting the first 2 right up against each other. In terms of just pure sheer joy when I jumped on the battlefield and fighting King Bob-omb and stuff, I don't really know if I could compare the two. Bomb's Fortress also had a couple stars that were kind of annoying to figure out, like the shooting out the cannon to hit the corners of that wall one. So Bob-omb Battlefield takes it, but they're sort of relative to each other. Ooh. TikTok Clock was just way more fun. The platforming felt satisfying. It had such a cool aesthetic that was consistent all the way through. Wet Dry World was a little bit kind of just like, almost felt like a Mario Galaxy level in a sense. Ooh, between Snowman's Land and Hazy Maze Cave. Snowman's Land was fun to figure out, and it was probably one of, if not the easiest level in the game. It just had more annoying platforming that didn't feel as satisfying to complete. Whereas Hazy Maze Cave, everything felt very satisfying and cohesive. Plus, sometimes getting in that igloo would be a little bit jank, so I'm gonna have to give it to Hazy Maze Cave. Oh, this is a hard one. If I was ranking them on how well designed the levels are, Lethal Lava Land would definitely be higher than Dire Dire Docks, but, you know, just off of my favorites and, like, how much enjoyment I had playing them and, like, how cool I felt going through the levels, Dire Dire Docks takes it, but they're very close. Ooh. I don't know. I think at the end of the day, I have to go Bob-omb Battlefield, but Hazy Maze Cave, you know, be proud. Be proud of yourself. And then TikTok Clock and Dire. This is probably the hardest matchup so far. I know that's kind of the point of these, but man. In terms of difficulty, TikTok Clock was harder. In terms of enjoyment, Dire Dire Docks was higher. Man, it's so hard. I think at the end of the day, I still have to give it to Dire Dire Docks. And wow, for the very last one, I mean, a lot of people probably have Bob-omb Battlefield at their, like, #1 spot, and it probably makes it here very often. I've never really, to be fair, I don't have many conversations about this game because I never played it before, but for me personally, like, if I think back to which one I actually had more fun playing all the way through, it would definitely be Dire Dire Docks. And so for that, I have to give it the dub here today. Well, thank you all for watching. I hope it was some level of entertainment for you. And I'll see you next time.